Alright guys, hope you're all doing well and you're all keeping safe. Today I wanted to discuss some recent job positions that have come up with Massive in Malmo. Positions that would suggest a new game is being worked on, quite possibly the Division 3. The other thing I wanted to go over is the Division 2 on next gen. Address the one thing that I've seen come up a lot and show you the loading times actually, because it's pretty impressive. If you enjoy this one, the best way to support me is to watch all the way through, like, comment and subscribe, and with that said, let's begin. So to start off with, let's talk about the Division 3. Now, I know it's early guys, but about this time into the Division's life cycle, 18 months or so, we started to see job roles become available for an unannounced project on the Massive website. Eventually, with some people on LinkedIn updating their job positions which revealed the Division 2 was coming. This included actors and writers and other job roles. Now, from my investigations, I've not found any updates on profiles on LinkedIn revealing that the Division 3 is coming. But what has recently come up, mirroring 3 years ago, are new job roles on the Massive website for an unannounced project, job roles that would be required for development of a new game. So let's take a look at those. Alright guys, so here we are on the Massive website where they have the careers. Now what you can see here is there's different stuff that you can pick from. You can go to Avatar Project and there's all the jobs for the Avatar Project. You've got the Division 2, which is online infrastructure engineer, site reliability engineer, along with the Avatar Project as well. We've also got unannounced project, which we don't actually know what that is yet. Actually, there's nothing on here for unannounced project. There was the other day, but that's been removed. But what I wanted to focus on here was studio. And the reason why is because this has recently come up under, as you can see, Malmo in Sweden, where they've basically made the Division and the Division 2. And you're going to see some of the job roles that come up here. This is basically for a new game. So what we've got here is we've got game designer, associate producer, character facial rigger, technical animator, gameplay programmer, senior game designer. So let's just quickly go on senior game designer, for example, and we'll look through this. So it says the game design team at Massive is looking for a game designer focused on AI to create a wide range of enemies and non-hostile NPCs in an action-adventure game. Now, I wouldn't call the Division an action-adventure game, but they might be calling that here because you could probably fit it under those brackets. They're not going to put looter-shooter or anything like that. And then if we go down here, it says you'll be responsible for designing the behavior of enemy archetypes as well as creatures and non-hostile characters in an action-adventure game. Now, there was some speculation around a new kind of tank game coming from Massive, which may be in the works, but when it says as well as creatures, I doubt very much a tank game will have that sort of stuff, whereas something like the Division 3 will definitely have creatures in, like dogs and stuff like that. Non-hostile characters as well will definitely be in there, like NPCs that you interact with, like friendlies and stuff like that. And then really all the other stuff here is just kind of your general sort of talk about what you would get in a game, like what you expect from someone, experience working with enemy AI NPCs in a shooter or action adventure game. So in a shooter action adventure game, I mean, you could call that the Division, you could call that a Division 3. If they go in a different direction rather than doing kind of loot shooter and they're doing more of a kind of linear kind of story, that's a shooter action adventure game. That could be happening with the Division 3 because we don't know what the Division 3 is going to be all about. We don't know if it's going to follow on from what we've got the Division 1 and Division 2 in terms of collecting loot and all that sort of stuff. So it may just be that they've gone a different direction, a direction that actually a lot of people have asked for previously. So the other stuff we've got here is character facial rigger. Again, if you're playing a tank game, you don't really get, you look at something like World of Tanks, you don't really get characters, if that makes sense. It's tanks. So this suggests to me that there is going to be actual people in the game. Again, that would fit into the Division 3 and what to expect from that. Again, here, this is all just generic stuff. I've looked through all of these job roles, guys, and I can't find anything that would give it away as to whether this is something that this is the Division 3. I don't know for sure, obviously. But like I said, these job roles have only recently come up. We're looking at just over 18 months into the life cycle of the Division 2, and this is where you're going to start to see job roles and people changing their job roles on LinkedIn and stuff to reflect what they're now working on. And we saw that in the Division 1, and that's how we learned about the Division 2 quite a while actually before. Well, certainly there was certainly a lot of information, not official information, but a lot of information out there that suggested it was coming. And this is starting to feel like that. It's starting to feel like that for this. So, you know, it is Malmo. That's where they made Division 1 and the Division 2, so it makes sense that Division 3 would also be there. Even if people aren't particularly happy about that, it makes sense that it would be there. They've got the most experience with this franchise. But maybe we're not getting a looter shooter. Maybe we are getting more of a action-adventure game, more of a kind of linear story. You know, somewhat where you complete the story and there isn't a whole lot after that point. It's just you're done with the story, almost like God of War in the way it's built. Maybe we're going to get that for the Division 3 rather than what we've had from the Division 1 and the Division 2. And I know a lot of people are going to be happy about that. Personally, I won't be. I mean, I like looter shooters. You know, I love looter shooters. You know, Destiny, that sort of stuff. I love that sort of game. I like to be able to invest in a lot of time in the game after it's completed. And so I wouldn't be particularly happy with that. Will I still enjoy it? Probably, but I won't enjoy it as much as I have with the Division 1 and Division 2. But yeah, this is the first kind of speculation, can I say? The first kind of speculation from me about potentially the Division 3 coming. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. But I mean, this could be way off. But I do think this is revealing, just like it did with the Division 1. Next up, and next gen. Now, I've seen a few forum posts and I've had some tweets asking about next gen for the Division 2, specifically if it will be 60 FPS. Now, the answer to that is no. Yannick confirms they are not upgrading the Division 2 to take advantage of the next gen consoles. What you can expect if you decide to play the Division 2 on next gen are similar performance to a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X, except one thing which has come out recently, and that's loading times. A video recently came up on Twitter showcasing the Division 2 loading times on an Xbox Series X. Take a look. Now, I actually have an Xbox One X, and I can tell you right away that these loading times that you're seeing in the video are way, 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 way faster than the Xbox One X. So actually, you are going to be getting a slight upgrade with the Division 2 on next gen. It's just going to be the loading times. Really, nothing else is going to be different from what I can tell. It's going to be very similar to the Xbox One X, which, you know, if we're going back to what I was talking about initially with the Division 3, makes me believe that actually they are going to be working on the Division 3 and not the Division 2. And I say that because the devs have always said that they've got no intentions of upgrading the Division 2, not just now, but in the future, to take advantage of next-gen consoles. And the reason why is probably because they're working on the Division 3, which will take advantage of those next-gen consoles. Now, for some people, they won't be happy about that. Some people would rather do what they did with the Division 1, where they kind of build on that experience. And playing the Division 2 now and looking back at the Division 1, I feel kind of that way. But then there are things that Division 2 does much better than the Division 1. So in many ways, I don't. Would I be happy to see a Division 3 on next-gen consoles? Absolutely. I hope they're working on a Division 3 for next-gen consoles, because I think there's a lot they can do with those next-gen consoles to really upgrade the Division experience, just as long as they take what they've learned from the Division 1 and the Division 2 into the Division 3. Like I said before, they might not even be a looter shooter. It might just be a kind of story-driven, very linear kind of game, similar to what we got with God of War, for example. But that's it for today's video, guys. Just a little bit of news that I want to talk about in this video. I am currently away on holiday, so don't expect any more videos from me until next week, following the 20th, I believe, where I'll have more videos. I'll be doing, standard weekly vendor reset, all of that sort of stuff. But that's it. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and until the next one, Epic out.